It's a beautiful Friday here I'm in Northern California. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I think, I don't know where all of you are, but I imagine a majority of you are in Southern California. And I've never been more excited about my life and about things, even with the uncertainty of our future. I have a very positive outlook on what's going on. Again, my name is Rick Geha. I'm born and raised in the Bay Area, born in Oakland, raised in a town called Fremont, California. And on May 15th of this year, just in a couple of weeks, will be my 40th anniversary of selling homes. I still run the Rick Geha Real Estate Team, and we're really producing and we're structured and operationally at a better level than we've ever been. We may not be at our highest production ever, but we certainly are operating at a better level, meaning everybody knows what their roles and responsibilities are. So it's been really fun for me. Leo mentioned that I own some Keller Williams Realty franchises. I did. I owned 9 Keller Williams Realty franchises in the Bay Area. 7 of them were in the worst foreclosure cities in Northern and Central California. And therefore I lost everything that I had. I lost my retirement, my savings, and pretty much all of the assets I had between my 30th and 35th year in the industry. Horrible time to do that, of course, but that's what set me on the path to one day hear about eXp. And 3 years ago and 3 months ago, I joined eXp, and it's really been the impetus, if you will, the conduit to me leading my best life ever. I've taken a lot more personal responsibility for myself, my actions, my decisions over the last several years, long before I came to eXp. Certainly as it relates to my health, my well-being, my nutrition, my relationships, and all of those things. So I'm really, really excited to be able to get to present to you today. So let's not waste too much time. I'll share some more bits of my story as we move on. This is an introduction to eXp Realty. And basically I want to start with a little bit about our founder, Glenn Sanford. He is a self-proclaimed geek. He looks at eXp Realty. If you ask him about it, he'll say it's a science experiment that went right. He obviously started in real estate in 2002, and he was with Keller Williams Realty. And if you notice the second point on this slide, in his 4th year in real estate with a major franchisor, which was KW, his team closed more than 60 million. And he was in Washington State with an average sale price of about $250. So 60 million in sales with a $250,000 average sale price. You think about it, that's a lot, right? It's about 400 transactions in a year. I think so. Let's see, maybe something like that. 60 times 4. No, that's 240 transactions at 250. So Glenn believed that agents and brokers do the heavy lifting in real estate and deserve the benefits of being a shareholder and income-based, and that's how he started to create it. Now, when he did think about this thing, the thing that he was talking about was that he had seen what Keller Williams Realty had done, and we'll talk a little bit that as we move the slides. Keller Williams Realty and Gary Keller were very, very huge in a complete paradigm shift in the real estate industry. And the reason that's true is because at the point in time when Century 21, who'd been around since 71, was really the big company in the world and the United States, they had 6,500 offices in the United States. And at one point, and I want to say it was probably around 2005 or 2006, there were 6,500 Century 21 offices in the United States, and there were 650 Keller Williams offices in the United States, and the number of Keller Williams agents far surpassed the number of Century 21 agents. And that was because the average Century 21 office had 16 agents at the time, and the average Keller Williams office had 123 agents. Now, these are actual facts, but here's the thing. Where was the industry going? If you look, it's easy for us to talk about it now. I'm not a visionary, but if you look back, where was the industry going? It was going from tons of little offices on every corner to bigger, more regional offices. So less than, Keller Williams created more agents in 90% less offices. Now think about that. So we were already moving to the desk and the office were not as important in operating a successful real estate sales business. Why do brokerages even exist? They exist because of us, the real estate agents. I'm a real estate agent at heart. Even though I owned 9 franchises at one point, and years before that in the 90s, I ran a real estate office for someone else for 8.5 years. I always acted, dreamed, and thought as an active real estate agent because that was my heart. So when people would want too much money from the agent, I'd go, that's not really fair because you're not really giving them that much, even when I was the guy running the office. But if you can see from this beautiful slide, brick and mortar locations went away to anytime, anywhere. Keller Williams Realty took the traditional 6,500 Century 21 offices and moved it to 650 offices. Blockbuster disappeared altogether and moved to Netflix with no locations, right? And of course, Circuit City and stores and all those kinds of things have moved to Amazon. I mean, nothing's more amazing than sitting here under shelter in place and having Whole Foods deliver my groceries to my door. And then, of course, traditional real estate brokerages have given way to eXp Realty. Now, look at this slide. The largest accommodations. Look, Hilton is a 99-year-old company valued at $18 billion. And Airbnb is now a 12-year-old company valued at $31 billion. Now, think about that. One owns tons of buildings. Airbnb owns no real estate, right? So it's where the world is going. It's how things are going. You know, even if you just think about Uber is the largest transportation company in the world and it does not own a vehicle. So think about that. Now, our cloud campus environment is something that just over the last 6 weeks that I've been in shelter in place and had an opportunity to get on Zoom with hundreds of agents who are either considering eXp or with eXp to talk to them about this. No desk fees, work from anywhere, cut your overhead brick and mortar costs. You know, whether you're an individual agent or a broker, look, I left Keller Williams 2 years before I joined eXp. I didn't leave Keller Williams to go to eXp. I left 2 years earlier and I had a team, a big team, and I had to lease a little spot for myself in Fremont, lease a little spot over here in Walnut Creek. And I started realizing, wow, I can lease this tiny little spot and spend a lot less money than I was spending paying desk fees, et cetera, at my Keller Williams office. And I noticed that because then now I'm in control of the speech. Now, when I joined eXp, I get a Regis Corporate Suites membership. So I can literally walk into a Regis building and use their offices for a day. What that membership gets me is the ability to sit my butt down there for a few hours in a day and walk out with my stuff and not pay anything. However, I want to rent an office that I want to be permanently mine that I can leave stuff in. I can pay a little extra, but I do get a discount because I'm already a member. So these are some really great things about it. The cloud campus is amazing. We'll go on. These are a couple of pictures of what the Regis environment looks like. I've been in several. I go to Utah a lot with my wife for her business, and I just take my app and on my phone, I have my Regis app and I can walk in. There's one right down from my buddy's house that I stay at in Utah, so that if my wife has to go off to her meetings, I just go down to the Regis offices and use them during the day for free so that I can run my real estate business from there. CRM and lead generation. I got to tell you, I'm a real estate coach for a company called Workman Success Systems, and we basically promote 3 major CRMs, Boomtown, Sync, and KV Core. I'm not a fan, and I'll tell you this, I've said it to many people, I'm not a fan of all these major real estate companies investing money in or buying to personalize for themselves major CRMs because there's just the best out there are the ones being run by independent companies with millions or billions to invest in making the technology amazing. I was in a hotel room once with Glenn Sanford, the founder, and with Jason Gessing, the CEO, and we were just all standing around kind of talking. This was about 1.5 years ago. And I remember Glenn saying something that was just to me so profound. And he said, look, any technology that any major real estate company creates or buys and says this is exclusive to us, the exact same product would be available on the shelf for sale within a year. And I truly believe that. So that no matter what other real estate companies are buying or creating, they are not going to, because of the lack of resources, be able to build something better than what the independent companies are building out there. So you know, KV Core is a product that I had coached about and heard about. And when I heard I got it free, I actually left Boomtown and moved to my KV Core account when I joined eXp. And it's really been a big help. I love all this information here. Powerful lead generation platforms provided at no additional cost. Please don't understand that to mean that you get leads for free, but there are ways you can use KV Core to create free leads. I'm not the guy to teach you that, but I certainly know it's possible because of the number of people I've communicated with. Now, these are some shots of some, these are not eXp arranged classes and events. They are arranged by agents within the company. The guy at the front of the room with the microphone is named Brent Go. He is somebody that we use a lot of his resources. He puts together great events, educational events, agent attraction events. He's incredible. And there's really, I think the one that hasn't been canceled is he has a really big event going on in Dallas at the end of August. And I do not believe that one will be canceled. I believe it will go together. And Tony Robbins is going to be speaking at that, and Leo can definitely get you the information. So we skipped through a lot of these. Now we're going to get to live training. Now, those pictures were of live training, but those were in person that you had to drive to. And I got to tell you, there is nothing more powerful than being able to access all of your training you need. Last week in the eXp world, 147 classes were taught in all different rooms, the auditoriums, the red rooms, the hallways, all kinds of things. Amazing amounts of training. And then they store those, they record them and store them. And we have classes on everything you can imagine, much more than what is shown onto this. But the last one on this slide is tap into an archive of recorded sessions on every subject matter you can imagine. That and our collaboration in the world. This is a picture of what it looks like to go to our offices. I was on Zoom with somebody that was checking out eXp yesterday, and I shared my screen and walked in my, my little avatar into this world here, and went right by the information booth and talked and walked up, showed the people where they could go to agent services and stuff like that. Now, an additional little comment is our company, eXp Realty, is owned by a company called eXp World Holdings. And eXp World Holdings owns the company that created this technology. And why is that a factor? It's a factor because now this technology on a much higher level is going to beat out things like Zoom and GoToMeeting. Why? Because Zoom and GoToMeeting still, look, I have a nice shirt on today. I had to get dressed for this. I don't know if you can see me or not. I'm not technological enough to know that, but I'm dressed in a nice shirt and I've got my hair brushed and I've got, I took a shower and did all those things. But here's the thing. In this, you could literally be sitting in your pajamas at home with your hair horribly messy, but in this world, you show up as the avatar you've created, very professional, able to go in and out of meetings, see people, talk professionally. And this technology is now being pursued by hospitals, by universities, and by the military because of its ingenious and visionary process. Equity opportunities, let's move on. Equity opportunities are amazing. Now, these are becoming a shareholder when you come to eXp Realty. When you join eXp Realty, sorry.
It's all good, Mr. Rick. You're doing amazing, man. I love how you're articulating the whole message, my friend. I appreciate it. And I can see you for sure.
Okay, my pleasure.
You all fired up, man.
Thank you. Well, so this is a big deal to me because you got to remember, I just told you a story. I was honest and vulnerable with you that I lost everything. All right. So when I heard about eXp, at first I was a little no thanks, and Brent can sometimes tell you the story if you want to hear it. But when I finally looked deeply at it, I said, okay, this is for me. And I showed it to my wife, who's an extremely incredible businesswoman. And she said, yeah, you got to go do this because you can build up a lot of what you lost and maybe even more. So I'm just going to talk about me for a minute. But the beautiful thing was I came to eXp and I already had some transactions going. So I was able to simply get my listing sold, and I had a couple of things go on. So right when I closed my first transaction, I received some free stock. When I capped, I received some free stock. Well, that first year, I was with eXp. I had a pretty good year, and I was able to close 20 more transactions after I capped, which allowed me to be qualified, listen to my words, to earn up to $16,000 in additional free stock. Now remember, my split was 80-20 up to 16,000. All right. I'd spent some other money on file fees and brokerage fees and everything. But basically in my first year with eXp, where I did a little over 30 million in real estate sales, I essentially net paid the company that year $6,000. That was all I paid out because of what I got back in free stock and all of that. Now, the other thing that I've done, look at the last one, the agent equity program is something that's incredible. You don't have to join this, but this is my belief. If somebody took 5% out of your check every single time, you wouldn't miss it, right? And I use that belief so that I signed up for this right when I joined the company. This is, I'm at 3 years and 3 months with the company now. And every single commission I've received in 3 years and 3 months, they've taken out 5% of it, and they've purchased stock for me, company stock at 10% below the going rate. And why is that great? Well, guess what? My wife has just told me about that. She said between the free stock I've earned and the stock I bought for 5%, for 5% of my commissions, and the free stock I've gotten from having other agents join and close their first deal, and all of these different ways I've joined, that she just told me the other day that my stock value today is just about $190,000 after 3 years and 3 months. I don't know about you, but when you've lost everything like I did, for me to be able to look at having lost so much, and then within 3 years, just doing what I do, selling homes, I've been able to stockpile $190,000 worth of stock. And of course, it all depends on what the value of the stock is at the time. But when I joined, it was $2.60. It's gone as high as $19.50. And I think yesterday it was $8.40. But I know just before the coronavirus hit, it was at $13. So I know it's a quality stock. I'm not worried about it, and I'm not a stock guy. So please don't send me questions about the stock. All right. Now, the next one, how to unlock cascading revenue share. This was another reason why my wife and I together made the decision to really take eXp seriously and talk to other people about it. Now, when you attract an agent to the company and they come on board, if they cap in their first year, you can earn up to $2,800 in the first year. After you've attracted 5 people to the company yourself, anybody that they've brought, meaning on the second level, if they cap, you can earn up to $3,200 per person. Now, I'm not going to go through this too deeply because it's more for a one-on-one conversation, and Leo can always get you in touch with me if you want to have a one-on-one conversation about it. But my wife, again, she's not a real estate agent. She still has her license. She was a real estate agent up until about 12 years ago, and then she quit. And went into another business and has been very successful, but she knows money and she knows business. And she did a calculation about 2 years ago, a little bit over a year after I came. And she comes into me and she goes, "Honey, did you know this?" And I said, "Did I know what?" She goes, "If you sponsor 5 cappers and those 5 cappers each go out and sponsor 5 cappers, you can easily earn up to $95,000 a year." And I said, well, I knew it was lucrative and I knew it was beneficial, but I hadn't done those exact numbers. Well, she had actually sat down and done the numbers. And she has talked to so many real estate agents without me about that it's really started this little thing. Get 5 and teach them how to get 5, and you're at $95,000 a year, assuming up to $95,000 a year, assuming that they are all cappers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a big deal for me. It's really like more and more people want to talk to me about this. Because why? What did people notice when we hit the coronavirus? Look, I'm going to stop right here and take a little more time than Leo probably wanted me to, and I don't know that he shared this with you, but
go for it, man. Go for it.
My wife and I contracted the coronavirus. It was a very emotional and difficult few weeks for the two of us. It was more emotional because of what we were hearing versus what we were feeling. Like, I've never been sick a day in my life, honestly. Like, the doctors don't have any record of me ever being sick. I'm the guy that went through high school and got a certificate at the end for never missing a day of high school, right? So, you know, my wife has been sick before. So it really knocked her on her butt. She had 4 days on the couch where she couldn't move, and she's 44. I'm 62. I'm in that, what they call the prime worry age group for people getting the virus. But, you know, I'm 168 pounds. I'm probably in one of the best shapes of my life. So I was able, and I take these amazing, you know, supplements that are all sitting here waiting for me to take them. But I had about 2.5 days where I was really wiped out, like where it was really tough, but we both came through it. But why did I say that? I said that because there is so much fear and isolation and worry about things that we have no control over in the world. And one of the things my wife said to me the other day is that the power of leveraged income, is unsurpassed in its ability to calm the worries in the time where you do not control what's going on. Now, let's be honest, most of us are losing our cookies over all of the things we don't control. When are we going to be allowed to fly again? When can we hug someone again? I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm a hugger. The only person I've hugged is my wife. And while that's amazing, I used to hug 15, 20 people a day, right? Like, I'm major jonesing for hugs. The point is that what do we worry about when we have no control over things, is we start to worry about, well, will I have enough money? Will I have enough food? Can I keep my home? All of these different things. So I urge you to understand the power of eXp as it relates to allowing you to keep the majority of your money when you're selling houses, the opportunity to earn stock for free and buy stock at a discount. And third, and probably most importantly, is the ability to share this with agents, have them come on board, and you start to create an income. Between 2007 and 2011, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know this, write this down. The US government put out numbers that said, truthfully, 94% of the foreclosures bankruptcies going on between 2007 and 2011, that $500 a month would have cured 94% of them. In other words, 94% of the people that declared bankruptcy, if they had $500 more a month coming in, they wouldn't have needed to declare bankruptcy. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. Think about the leverage this can bring you and how simple it would be to create $500 a month in extra income from this. I don't know about you, but that's more than my car payment. Just saying. All right, let's move on. I probably spent a little more time. This is another example. If you sponsor 10 people and they all cap, and then each of those 10 people sponsor 10 people, you're at $348,000 a year. Up to $348,000 was what they say. I'm not a big fan of that example because it's pretty huge and it depends on a lot of things, but I do like my example of you bring 5 and teach them to bring 5, and that's $94,000 a year. So now, international collaboration, one of my favorite things. I'm not a techie, but I'm learning to love the online and sort of social collaboration that goes on without ever having to see people. And that is, you know, we have something called Workplace that's like the Facebook for eXp. We have Workplace Chat. We have our world that we've been in, and all of these I'm benefiting from. Like, especially now, all the different things that people are putting up on those groups, it's amazing. So really, I love the last one here: share best practices among peers, and all of the top producers in the company, whether they're amazing at video or they're amazing at selling houses through REO or short sale, whatever they're doing, are all teaching classes in the cloud, and those are all recorded. So what better system do you have than that, right? Okay, eXp Solutions. This is amazing. I love this. I love that when I sign in, and by the way, my wife does sign in for me because she's always checking on what's under contract, what commissions are going to be closing, what's my revenue share check going to be, how much stock do we have. It's all under one sign-in. Now, I've been with several large companies, Century 21. I've been with Coldwell Banker. I've been with Keller Williams. I was with a very large independent, and I was with my uncle's brokerage in my 40 years. And none of the most savvy companies ever had a single sign-in, meaning you just sign in once and you have access to everything. I can access my enterprise where it tells me what's going on. I can access workplace. I can access KV Core and my branding and my marketing. And of course, SkySlope, which is what I was using at KW, which allows me to check in on all of my transactions and where we are and what's going on. This is what it looks like when you sign in. And it's just amazing to me. This little one over here on the right called Making It Rain, amazing. That's an ability to use your KV Core CRM and add some money in for them to spend money and buy some Facebook ads and Google ads for you. Incredible. All right, these are more pictures of that. This is somebody that Leo can talk to you a lot about, Brent Go. He's one of my heroes. He's the gentleman that introduced me to eXp. And if he hadn't done that, then who knows if I would be here or Leo would be here, who knows. But this has been amazing. And Brent has his own little website called BrentGoResources.com. And you're more than welcome to go there too, to see what he's got. Videos, stuff on, you can even see here, he's got stuff on, let me go back one slide. I don't know, let's see right here. He's got stuff on real estate training, agent attraction, and event videos. And I urge you to go there because I click on that red button that says, where's Brent? And then I'm able to see every event that I make sure I want to attend myself. All right. Okay. This is kind of a wrap up of what other people are saying about eXp and why it's so amazing. And I just love what's going on out there. We are really shaking up the world. And I have a couple other things that I'm going to comment on, but I wanted to get to this slide. These are the truths about the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, there's just it's so easy when I talk to people about eXp. I can tell them, look, you're on an 80-20, and then when you paid in 16,000, you are at 100%. And then they go, wait a minute, what? And then what else is there? And no, there's no franchise fee. In other words, once you've done 80,000 in gross closed commission, okay, 80,000 in gross closed commission, that means you've paid the company you paid the company $16,000. You're now at 100%. Now, once you get to 100%, you are going to pay a $250 per transaction fee for the first 20 transactions after that. What I would say is don't worry about that because you're not going to worry about it when you're getting 100% of the commission, just less $250. I know you might be thinking, wait, $250 is a lot of money, but I'm going to tell you when you're getting 100%, that $250 seems very, very minimal. But what about joining? It's $149 to join the company, and then see these next two dots on the right. It's a total of $85 a month to be with the company. But for that $85 a month, you get KV Core for free, which is worth, I can't say for sure, but it's between $250 and $400 every month. And then you get your Regis membership, which is worth at least $100 a month. And you get all these other amazing things that don't cost you anything. Access to eXp Workplace and all of these amazing things that you have access to. Every single file is going to have a $25 broker review fee. Every single file, always. Okay? $40 risk management fee only on your first 12 and a half transactions because that caps at $500 a year. So no matter how many deals you do, you're never going to pay more than $500 a year for E&O insurance or risk management, whatever you call it. Very simple, very direct, not any hidden fees, easy for me to calculate what I paid them every year. Our growth, incredible. We're at about a little over, I think we're a little under 29,000 agents right now. And company is constantly working at how to be a better company. Over 60% of the agents that we've lost that have left eXp are just agents that did no production, and most of them were not doing production at the company they were at before. So we're really not losing a lot. Of only 3% of the people that have left the company are major producers, and it's usually because of other economic conditions that have nothing to do with the company. So that's why we're growing so fast. Remember, we can't say we have 30,000 agents, but in that month we lost 2,000. We don't get to say we lost 3. We have 30,000 agents. So these numbers are very accurate that we are at over 28,000 and under 29,000 agents right now in the company. And I just got that from the president of the company yesterday, so I know it's a pretty updated number. Our growth has been phenomenal. I'll give you an example. I joined 3 years and 3 months ago. There was 2,400 agents, right? Today, there's a little over 28,000 agents. So more than 1,000% growth in the last 3 years and 3 months. So, all right. great. This is like when I'm a coach, as I told you before, I coach brokerages all over the country. I coach real estate teams. We tell everybody you cannot build a sustainable brokerage or team without quality core values that represent who you are as a company or the people that run the company. These are the 9 words that represent our core value. What are they? Look, community, be a good neighbor to create a sustainable legacy. Fun, don't take yourself too seriously. If you ever see Glenn Sanford at an eXp event, you're going to go, that guy is fun. Kind of geeky, but definitely fun. Agile, I love this. Agile means, think about it, right? You know a guy that's agile, he's light on his feet. Force chaos and change to survive and grow. Force chaos and change to survive and grow. Most people would tell you that agile means change to survive and grow, but we're adding in there force chaos. How are we doing that? By constantly, look at the next word, innovating. The best way to predict the future is to invent it. Integrity, do the right thing. Service, make positive change in our company and our local community. I'd love for you to be thinking about this in the moment are these words, when you read them, think about yourself, your business, your lifestyle, and your life, and are these words that relate to you? Sustainability, be a good financial steward of the environment, the organization, and our families. And how better can we do that than not wasting resources on bricks and mortar, right? Everybody will find a place to work, believe me. They'll lease a little office space, they'll work from home, they'll go to Starbucks, whatever they're gonna do. Collaboration, we're all in the same field. And that is something that I learned from my mentors years ago in the early 90s, that when you had good information about how to succeed in real estate, you let other people have it because there are no secrets, right? And if I give you my idea on how to list a lot of houses, am I going to be worried that you're going to list that? No, there's plenty of business. There's an abundance of business. So collaboration is truly the most amazing thing. And transparency, I love it. It says, get things out from behind the curtain. Tell everybody the truth. Let them know how you're doing. All right. Become a shareholder. This is basically the last slide. You know, there's a joining link and all of those things. This is when our stock went from a penny stock to a NASDAQ stock, which was a pretty big deal. This is Glenn in the middle, and to your left from him is Jason Guessing, the CEO. That's when he pushed the button. And then, of course, now these days are gone. This has been, I mean, that was, they had the trip to Mexico. The Scottsdale trip was canceled. This is the one I was telling you about that's not canceled. And I don't believe it will be, the 2020 leadership event. The tickets are on sale for anywhere from $199 to $1,000, because when Tony Robbins comes on and when some of these great speakers that he's having come on, some people want to spend $1,000 to be sitting up front, but there's a lot of variation in the ticket prices. I would definitely have Leo get you the link to register for this. All right, that's the hotel it's going to be in. And then our convention, which is also not canceled, is November 9th through 11th in Las Vegas. I don't believe that will be canceled. And I think that is it. All right, there we go. It's back to your screen, Leo. I did want to be available for questions or anything right now, if Leo's okay with it. So Leo, that'll be up to you.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And thank you. I mean, I just want to say thank you. I truly appreciate your time. I truly appreciate you sharing. You always share from the heart, man. I'm so connected to what you're saying. So just appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, Casey, man, everything you do.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. And Leo, I want to, since you gave me just one little second, not that you really did, but I'm going to take it. That, a lot of people have talked to me. They said, Rick, when people come on to eXp, what's their biggest concern? And I said, for the most part, it's, this whole office question, right? And so about 2 years ago, I sort of reflected on my 40 years in the industry. When I went to work for my uncle's brokerage, this was in 1980, May 15th of 1980. You got to remember, shag carpeting and paneling had gone out in the 70s, but he still had shag carpeting and paneling. And it was just a big room that had desks everywhere. And some of the desks were crooked and some of them were scratched, and there was no dividers, there was nothing. And one of my first training lesson from my uncle was, oh, well, see that desk right there, that's yours. and it has a phone book in the drawer. Good luck. That was my training. All right. Now, but the reason I looked at that is I went from my uncle's company to 13 years later, I was asked, because I was a top listing agent, to run this small real estate office of 12 agents. I ran that small real estate office of 12 agents for 9 years, took it from 12 to 130 agents. What was the common factor between my uncle's office and that office is my uncle's office, there were not near enough desks for the number of people that worked there. When I went to that bigger company, it was I was running one office out of 21 offices they had. And my boss would tell me, you always have to have twice the agents that you have desks. And I go, how does that work? Mm. And he said, oh, well, not everybody needs a desk, but you want your nice offices for your top producer and cubicles for your lower producers. And then everybody else can, come in and sit in the conference room or whatever. So the idea of no desks or not everyone having a desk goes back to the 80s or probably even before. Wow. So it's not a new concept. It's just that more and more and more people are aware of it. Now, look what's happening right now. Franchises are desperate to pay their rent, but their agents aren't selling as many houses, so they have less money coming in. So they're asking for forbearance on their rent. I mean, we, eXp, are in the best position to outlast this.